Now, Lil Pump, haven't heard that name in a while, huh? Lil Pump is having a horrible 2021 though, man. In this video, I want to do a little review of his career post the fall off and reflect on his career. On top of that, there's a couple different situations in regards to Pump I want to discuss in this video as well. Some of those things you might have heard or seen something about on the internet, while others you might have not heard about him. And hey, I guess that's why I'm here, right? So yeah, let's talk about it. Now, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say the name Lil Pump? I don't know about you, but for me, J. Cole, okay, is the first thing that comes to mind. The song 1985 to be specific. The 1985 effect, this effect right here has a couple bodies under its belt. It's taken out multiple rappers. Smoke Purp is one of them, and Lil Pump, who we're going to talk about right now, is another victim of the 1985 effect. Lil Pump's career is a textbook example of what happens when you fall into that clout chasing cycle 1985 was talking about. He started off pretty strong back in 2017, was consistently time after time going viral, was getting covered by the media a lot back then. Obviously, this was as a result of all the things he was doing outside of the music. 2017 was also the year Lil Pump blew up. Gucci Gang was an undeniable hit. The song went absolutely crazy back then. It was pretty much everywhere, and so was Lil Pump. This was the peak of his entire movement. It most definitely spiked right here. No matter how obnoxious I think Lil Pump was or is, no matter how hated he is and has been, I think we all can agree that he was one of the cool kids back then. He managed to capture everybody's attention with his antics big time. The music was obviously blowing up and he was eating good. Although that's the case, Lil Pump was at the end of the day a here for today but gone tomorrow kind of rapper, and that's why his fall off was inevitable. Lil Pump was never truly gonna last. I think that's something 99% of us all knew from the get-go, which is why him falling off so hard hasn't surprised any of us. He was headed for that destination since day one. The fact that most people think about the clout chasing in relation to him as a rapper instead of the actual music tells you everything you need to know. What did Cole say on that one part now again? Now you scrambling and hoping to get hot again, but you forgot you only pop because you was riding trends. These two very simple lines predict Lil Pump's destiny. He really got caught in that cycle of always trying to get people talking by doing things. Even took it as far as including that Juice WRLD 70 pounds on a private jet line in that one snippet he previewed. Of all the clout chasing shit Lil Pump has done, this is probably one of the worst ones. Actually, dissing J. Cole might be worse. Or maybe, you know what, okay, saying that no one listens to Eminem might be worse. Actually, they're all bad. I've already made a really in-depth video about Lil Pump's fall off, so definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. I say that to say I'm not going to go over that specific aspect too much. With that being said, there just was no end to the madness as far as the attention-seeking behavior Lil Pump was projecting out to the world. Every single week it was something, and every single stunt he pulled took him further and further away from even being considered an actual respectable artist. What's the state of his career in 2021 though, as far as the music? The last time Lil Pump dropped a project was in 2019, early 2019 for that matter, and that was of course Harvard Dropout. This was his second project in the industry. His self-titled project, Lil Pump, was his first one that came out in 2017. The last time Lil Pump dropped a single though was back in September 2020 when he dropped one titled Life Like Me, so he hasn't been active at all. He's previewed a handful of songs in snippet form, but honestly, from the looks of it in terms of the response, people don't really seem to want the music. No one is thirsting for any Lil Pump music is what I'm trying to say. So the demand for Lil Pump music is very low. Probably the lowest it's ever been. I checked out his Spotify page and saw that he's been featured on a couple songs, but there's not much apart from that as far as the music goes. It's completely crickets on that end. He's currently sitting at around 8 million monthly listeners on Spotify though, which is not bad for Lil Pump considering the lack of material we've seen from him. On top of that, Lil Pump is a rapper who has completely fallen off. Keep that in mind. I bet the only thing that's keeping his monthly listeners in that 8 million range though is all those previous big songs he had like Gucci Gang or I Love It with Kanye. Apart from that though, there's not really much to analyze as far as the state of his career music wise because he's hardly been dropping anything. Honestly man, I just don't think people care about Lil Pump anymore. At all. No one is checking for his music. People are tired of the clout chasing and the antics. We know exactly what to expect from Lil Pump on a character level because he's consistently been pulling the same kind of stunts for years, and it's just gotten to a point where people are sick of seeing his face. The Lil Pump wave is dead as far as the people know it, so nowadays when he pops up in the media and different hip-hop outlets like me or someone else post something in relation to him, people feel a sense of disdain towards him because we've seen the same kind of behavior from him 1,000 other times. I think think the only time we've seen another side of Lil Pump is when he cried for help on social media. That's the only time I've seen Lil Pump kind of connect with people, if that makes any sense. He's always been so antics heavy to the point where people have never even gotten a chance to get to know the actual person behind Lil Pump. Because let's make this clear, Lil Pump's entire image is a mask. Plain and simple. The Lil Pump character, which has brought him far, is nothing but a character. When people think about Lil Pump nowadays, they don't think about the person behind Lil Pump. They think about the clown, the actor, the clout chaser Lil Pump. And that's why no one cares about Lil Pump in 2021. On top of that, antics are completely played out. I've had this feeling for a while, but I honestly think clout chasing in hip hop is completely dead. And I say that not because I don't think the act of clout chasing in itself works. Trust me, clout chasing definitely works. However, clout chasing long term, it'll fail 100% of the time. Believe that. That's number one. And on top of that, you can't rely on it as a strategy to build a name for yourself at all right now. I mean, think about this. Who are the last, let's say, 2 rappers who clout chased themselves all the way to the top? The first guy is, of course, the man who I'm talking about right now, which is Lil Pump, and the second guy is 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is the guy who served as the real clout chasing experiment in hip hop. He took it to levels Lil Pump could only imagine taking it to. Everything 6ix9ine has done in his career as far as chasing the relevancy has been extremely calculated. And that's why he's been such a successful rapper in his own fashion. But despite always being in the media and despite being such a big name, even 6ix9ine couldn't manage to keep the train going. Let's just put it like this. Clout chasing not only comes with its negatives, but it's exhausting. And just like how Lil Pump fell off, the reason why I don't think 6ix9ine could keep his very much thriving movement going is because he just did too much. So much to the point where his entire existence, just like Lil Pump's, became all about clout chasing. 6ix9ine, just like Lil Pump, has done so much to the point where we're desensitized to anything he does now. And 6ix9ine, just like Lil Pump, has that same effect on people right now where people are just really sick of seeing him in the media because that train has already left, so I don't want to hear about this guy anymore. And this is why I strongly believe that the antics are completely played out. This way of moving in hip-hop in 2021 is just not gonna fly. I mean, maybe it will for a little bit of time, but the end result is always gonna be the same. You're always in the end gonna become another casualty of the 1985 effect, because that's the path you immediately start embarking on as soon as you make antics a part of your foundational strategy of making it as a rapper. Now, let's talk about Lil Pump getting his windows busted. A couple weeks ago, Lil Pump got his windows busted on 2 of his cars. As a response to the damage that was done to his cars, Lil Pump had a couple things to say, and he wasn't happy, let me tell you that.
Bro, I'ma catch you, whoever the fuck did this, and I'ma blow your fucking brains out, bitch. Let me catch your ass, little nigga. You little bum ass.
I agree with Lil Pump on this one, not the shooting them part, but I get the rage. Someone, or a couple people if I'm not mistaken, stepped foot in his property, busted his car windows, stole his $600 nail kit. Yes, you heard that right, they stole his nail kit. Another situation Lil Pump also recently went through is the news regarding him owing over $89,000 in taxes. So pretty much what happened was about 2 weeks ago, some news came out regarding Lil Pump being in debt to the IRS, and that debt was from 2019. Lil Pump is nearly $90,000 in debt to Uncle Sam according to a federal court document. However, the South Florida rapper is denying the claims. The debt was first reported on Friday, June 25th by Radar Online and confirmed by XXL via the Department of Treasury and Internal Revenue Service records. Pump, born Gazi Garcia, owes $89,000 in taxes for 2019. As a result, the IRS has placed a lien on his $5 million home in Miami. The document was filed in Miami-Dade court on April 26. If the money owed is not paid, the government could seize Pump's assets until the debt is fulfilled. I'm actually not sure exactly how this happened, but I'm guessing it might have been a situation where some money just happened to slip through the cracks, considering the fact that he was at one point making a whole lot of bread. That's a big possibility. It's happened to a lot of very successful entertainers. They're on a crazy run making a whole lot of dinero, maybe miscalculate their income because they're getting money from so many different places and end up keeping a little more than they were supposed to keep, so then they end up owing a little bit of cash to Uncle Sam. As soon as this news broke, a lot of people were asking, is Lil Pump going broke? As much as I'd like to sit here and validate the 1985 effect, Trust me, it's very tempting. I'd really like to do that. Lil Pump is truly never gonna go broke. That goes for most entertainers / musicians who've at least touched the mainstream. You're always gonna have some kind of opportunity come your way that's gonna lead to you getting that bag one way or the other. Now for Lil Pump, he might not, or is actually not getting that Gucci Gang money right now, but he's most definitely getting a little sum. So at this point, I'm sure that 89K is paid off. Now, let's go over this Diablo Slap incident that went down around 2 weeks ago. You might have seen something about it on social media, but the story is this. Diablo, a young and very accomplished producer who's worked closely with Lil Pump throughout his career, they had a fallout after some miscommunication issues that stemmed from a misunderstanding between Diablo himself and Lil Pump's in-house producer. That miscommunication led to a little back and forth between Diablo and Lil Pump through some text exchanges. Months after this, Diablo pulled up to a party where Lil Pump was at. He didn't think much of it, but he was walking into a trap. Lil Pump was surrounded by a whole bunch of people, including security. Someone from Pump's team started recording as soon as Diablo entered their circle. Diablo ended up getting slapped by Lil Pump, and there was that.
And then I walk up to him, and immediately I like kind of saw someone holding a phone. I kind of knew what was up, but I don't really care, you know, at this point. Like, and so he's like, "Yo, blah blah blah," like talking to me. I'm like, "Yo," trying to clear the air because.
I won't play the video of the incident itself since YouTube won't really like that, but it's out there, you can easily find it. As far as this entire situation, Lil Pump obviously slapped Diablo as a way to try to take control of the situation, show him who the big dog is, make himself appear as a tough guy, but all it really did was just make Pump look bad. Just a setup of the entire situation where you can clearly see that it's one guy standing in front of an entire entourage, and just that alone is bad enough. On top of that, adding a slap into the equation, you don't get no cool points for this, bro. Had Diablo lifted a finger in this situation, he would have gotten jumped instantly, no question. The only person who lost here is Lil Pump, if you ask me. I think the whole tough guy approach failed miserably, and you gotta keep in mind, this is someone who helped Lil Pump build his entire foundation early on by producing some of his bigger songs. As an example, Diablo produced Pump's song Boss, so for you to go out of your way to publicly humiliate him in this kind of fashion, not a good look. From the outside looking in, it just looked bad for Lil Pump on all levels. Again, you don't get no cool points in my book for trying to punk a producer. A rapper who's talking that tough talk, maybe, depending on the situation, but this, no way. You know what I'm asking myself? Could Lil Pump, despite all this, make a comeback once again? What is it gonna take for him to get on people's radar once again and become popular? Just asking myself that question, I've realized that a comeback for Lil Pump is close to impossible. Yeah, sure, he might drop a song or two that catch some heat, but the Lil Pump train left a while ago. You can see this in the response he gets from not only people, but his own fans. The obnoxious image people have of Lil Pump is so drilled into our heads to the point where anything he does gets brushed off as clout chasing. I'm bringing this up to highlight the danger that lies in relying on the antics to become popular. I'm not gonna lie and say that it doesn't work, because it does, but 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be short-lived. As far as the state of Lil Pump's career in 2021, like I said earlier in the video, people just don't care about him anymore. And as far as his horrible 2021, when it comes to the music, I just can't see how it's gonna get much better than this. But like they say, only time will tell. But yeah, Lil Pump's horrible 2021. Any thoughts on this entire conversation? What do you think about the state of Lil Pump's career, just overall? And as far as some of the things he's gone through that I talked about in this video, any thoughts on that? I know you have at least a thing or two to say about it, so let it spiel. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comment section below. Let's talk about this.